Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, locked on Big 12 and right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can also listen live to the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel and SiriusXM 375. The SEC, wants to leave the NCAA. What the hell does that mean exactly? What do you just, it's like when you declare for bankruptcy and you just, I'm bankrupt. You just say it, you exclaim it, and all of a sudden the SEC is not a part of the NCAA anymore. How does that work? How does one just leave the NCAA? We will start there today. But first, Spain, world champions still, winning the FIBA World Cup 1-0 over Argentina. A brawl last night between the New York Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jose Caballero, Dennis Santana, not happy with each other, and it broke out into a fight. How about the Red Sox? One win away from tying their 1946 record of 15 straight wins. They've won 14. They're above 500. The Red Sox, the same organization that fired Alex Cora. Now, here's the crazy part. It's the real crazy part. It's a personal story. I've got tickets to see the Red Sox play on Wednesday. Yeah. Today's Tuesday. I've got tickets to see the Red Sox play tomorrow against the Baltimore Orioles in Fenway. And if they win, they could win 16 in a row tomorrow. We'll keep you updated with that one. Elsewhere, Ryan Clark was fired by ESPN. Ryan Clark, former NFL player, also frequently on ESPN, works, well, as of 24 hours ago, worked for ESPN. Then in the middle of a show that he was doing, like ESPN social media is actively clipping his takes from this show, his take from that show, and in the middle of all of it, within the hour, he is fired during a commercial break. Why? Well, ESPN didn't want it to leak, and people were already asking questions. They didn't want Ryan Clark to think he was fired from somebody else. So instead of giving him the impression that he was fired, they fired him themselves. And LeBron James. Day 30 of the LeBron James not being a Los Angeles Laker and wherever LeBron James is going to go. Now his agent, Rich Paul, saying he's not going to be rushed into a decision. Stop. Every team is giving its sales pitch. They've done all they can. Everything's done. It's over. Now we wait on LeBron James. Okay. Haven't we been doing that? Isn't that I haven't been trying to rush you, Mr. James. I just... It's been a while, and you said this wouldn't happen. You said it wouldn't be like the decision, where America is waiting with bated breath, wondering where LeBron James is going to go. And now it's July 21st, 6:03 and 46 seconds Eastern Time, and I'm wondering, where is LeBron James going to go? You did this. I personally am not rushing you. I'm just asking the same question that I've been asking. Where are you going to play next so we can all move on? Thank you. Stu Kovacs getting to produce this week. Laura Jimenez runs the board. You can call or text the show. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Some of the most interesting comments that you'll find at Media Days occurred yesterday. You know what? Some of the most dangerous comments you'll find at Media Days occurred yesterday. The SEC, Southeastern Conference, is teetering on the verge of killing college football. What? That's a huge statement. How do you wake up at 6:04 and 46 seconds Eastern Time and say something like that? How? Well, it's because the SEC told me yesterday it's what they are planning to do. The commissioner of the conference, Greg Sankey, told me we are very serious about leaving the NCAA, about exploring the option to leave the NCAA. So when I, Drake Toll, the host of a radio show, says the SEC is spewing dangerous rhetoric about leaving the NCAA and it could ultimately kill college football, that's not an exaggeration because I learned that, I sourced that from the SEC, from what they told me and what they told you yesterday. No, you woke up today in McKinney, Texas. Good morning. Texas A&M grad. You remember the day that A&M left the Big 12. Thank goodness, liberation. We're going to the SEC. Was it Kevin Sumlin comes in to coach your way into the SEC? And finally, it's all going to get better. Now, what I think a lot of fan bases learned when they made the jump to the Southeastern Conference and haven't competed at the same level as they did in, say, the Big 12, is the grass isn't always greener. If you're Nebraska going to the Big 10 or A&M going to the SEC, you haven't seen a ton of success in the last 15 years since making these moves. Well, but we're making way more money every year. Yeah, the school can install a new hot tub for the players because you're making millions more dollars, but what did you get from that other than a worse viewing experience? What did you get from that, A&M fan, other than seeing your team lose more often? You don't get to use the hot tub. The $1 million facility, the $1 million addition to the facility, the $100 million facility, and the $1 billion stadium, all these upgrades. What do you get? More losses. Now the SEC is it's 16 teams, and UT is there, and A&M is there, and you woke up today and you think, nothing can kill my college football, win or lose. My existence as an A&M alum is a happy one because college football exists. So what's all this about the dangerous rhetoric? What's all this about this fear-mongering about where the SEC is headed? Well, it comes to the back of Greg Sankey, who, in discussing conferences breaking away from the NCAA, he says those conversations are real. We'll take you back yesterday to what Greg Sankey had to say at the podium.
They're real. People have talked about that. They've opined about the frustrations that bring them to the point of saying we should look at something significantly different. I do not believe that is a leverage point. I think that's just honest communication. I would prefer that stay in a meeting room or on a video conference and not be part of the D1 ticker the next morning, but I don't control all of that. Eddie, what I think is important is those comments represent a high level of frustration with the circumstance in which we find ourselves.
Okay, hold on. I've got, you have the power, Greg Sankey. Did you hear what he just said? I would prefer, of course, that stay. But this is the commissioner of the SEC. I would prefer that stay in a boardroom. I prefer that stay between us. But you're saying it in a room full of reporters. You're saying it with 7 microphones in your face. You know that it will be part of the D1 ticker yesterday. So how are you going to tell? It's what great politicians do. You ever recognize this or realize this? It's what the mark of a great politician. The left, the right, doesn't matter. Governor, president, senator, judge, doesn't matter. It's when we voted for you. Here's what you do. Excuse me, Mr. Governor. Everyone's poor right now. Well, of course they're poor. The last governor really gave them a bad shake. Mr. Senator, there's murder in the streets. Yes! The previous senator was murdering all of those people. Hey, Mr. President, we got a big problem with housing. Housing? Well, the last president's the worst president that's ever been on housing. There's a reason housing is impossible to find. What politicians do is they sit it around so that they're always right. They would never admit to you, hey, I'm in the wrong. That's on me. As a politician, I'm going to be better. That sort of humility is not something that's going to help you win. That sort of humility is not what politicians are built on or what they do. What politicians do is they tell you they're right until at some point in time, we all start to think, damn, they're right. What Greg Sankey's saying to you, right before he goes into a whole conversation about this isn't me trying to leverage anything, and then explains to you the SEC and its almighty power that they have no other choice. That's all they could do is break away from the NCAA. He tells you what he's not doing. I'm not leveraging. The next sentence out of his mouth, but we need to, at some point, leverage our existence as the SEC and have real conversations about leaving the NCAA. So he's completely spun a 180 on you, hoping you don't notice. You probably didn't. And then he goes on to say, the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, goes on to say, well, I would love for this to just stay in the boardroom and not get out. He's saying it as if you now, the public, hearing him, Greg saying it's a great public speaking tactic, as if you know something no one else knows, as if it's a secret between you, him, and God. Well, I wouldn't tell anybody else this, except for our astute fans of the Southeastern Conference. Now, a lot of this is boiled down to the Protect College Sports Act. What the hell is the Protect College Sports Act? Well, if you love college football in general, this is the pipeline of the NFL. You've been waiting for the SEC to improve. You've been waiting for the Big Ten to improve their relationship with the NCAA or to improve their relationship with these local judges. Schools asking for injunctions. Oh, can my player get a fifth year, please? Local judge in local county, can you just rule on, can the government tell the NCAA that my player gets to play? Can I skirt the rules in that way? And the Protect College Sports Act is the answer. We've all been begging the coaches, the players, the viewers, the fans. Fix college sports. Make it better. Make it like it used to be. Make it what I can watch. The Pac-12. Where Washington State at USC was a conference game. Not a bowl game. So the government stepped in and said, oh, that's what you want. We'll create the Protect College Sports Act. We'll go to pretty extreme lengths to ensure that we can help you govern. Huh. But Greg Sankey, most powerful commissioner in the world, the guy who runs the SEC, what say you about the very thing you've been screaming for, about saving college football, about saving college sports? What say you on this Protect College Sports Act? He has gone on to say he believes that changes to the act are necessary. So we go from the we need this, we need X, to don't like it. We need changes. And we've suggested changes that are achievable and reasonable. We, the SEC, trying to work with Congress. And instead, it's just been kind of a complaint fest from the Southeastern Conference during media days this week. And the commissioner has told everyone, hey, we, the SEC, believe that at a 9-game schedule, this is something that's going to hurt us. It's not going to be. It's not going to put us in a position to win. That we, the SEC, feel as though our conversations with the college football playoff and how to make it in, that they are not good enough. They're not adequate compared to what we want them to be. We, the SEC, want a handout. I've got a question. Why is the SEC so scared of a 12-team college football playoff, a 24-team college football playoff, 16? Why were they so scared of expansion? If you're the best conference, shouldn't you win it year in, year out? Well, therein lies a new problem. Therein lies what I'm starting to see. Even coaches like Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri said there's regret for moving to a 9-game. Everybody else plays a 9-game conference schedule. The SEC is just now starting to do so in the conference, and there's already regret of doing it, Eli. For Drinking Company, they're all saying it, he said. We're all saying it. The schedule is going to be the real challenge. And the big bad wolf, the SEC, gets to complain. If you leave the NCAA, if that's where they're headed, well, it threatens the ecosystem of college athletics. If the SEC wants to continue the dangerous rhetoric, you push a narrative that this conference operates in a completely different financial competitive stratosphere. Nobody else can do it like us. That hyper-elitism, the more you sound like a politician, the more the SEC and its narrative threatens college sports. You have an unpredictable antitrust, legislative backlash. Now, Congress is trying to work to ensure that you, the big guy, the big dog, the SEC, does not destroy college sports. And the one thing you want to do as the SEC is push back against Congress in that effort. Not good. When we come back, Let's give you a dip more into yesterday from Josh Heupel to Will Stein, some of the characters from the SEC that gave weird, random, and awesome quotes. Oh, and also, the Boston Red Sox are good, apparently. That's what I'm being told. Stu Kovacs produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. This is the Drake Toll Show.
It's a big week for NFL fans. Training camps are kicking off. The Panthers and Cardinals get things started tomorrow. Then it's the Pats, Seahawks, and Bucks on Friday, followed by the Rams and Niners on Saturday. The pigskin is flying, and we're here for it. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
And a little bit of stick it to them.
The Islamic Republic of Japan.
Thank you,
It
President
is
Trump.
The Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. You can listen to the entirety of the show on the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, and SiriusXM 375. Good morning. Drake Toll with you. Live in Savannah, Georgia, with Stu Kovacs producing and Laura Jimenez running the board. The SEC, I'm telling you, what we don't talk about enough is how July affects December in college football. And I love college football. Probably if I had to pick the one thing, you get to watch this, do this, see this for the rest of the time, it's college football. The NFL's right there on its heels. And every December we get there and somebody's complaining, oh, why aren't we in the college football play? Oh, my team, we got just snubbed out of this thing. Well, in July, we set what's called the FPI. Can I paint this picture for you a bit? We set what's called the FPI in July. And the Football Power Index is brokered by ESPN. Strength of schedule, the metric that is used for your strength of your schedule, is another metric released by ESPN. Well, the SEC makes up the top 25, 16 spots at the top 25 in both of those, basically. And so we get to December, and an FPI and a strength of schedule where it's really hard to find upward mobility because it's so clogged by the SEC. Well, 5 months from now, we're going to see that the SEC makes up the field of the college football playoff, and you'll complain. No, it shouldn't be that way. But today, when you're saying, I don't care about FPI, I don't care about strength of schedule, just let it be decided on the field. Let it be decided on the field. As you're saying that today, well, 5 months from now, they're going to tell you that it doesn't get to be decided on the field. That Notre Dame, they don't get in even though they've been ahead of Miami for so long. And why did they flip? I don't know. They just did. What? They're going to make decisions that make no sense to you as it pertains to who to let into the college football playoff. But they should make sense if you have the context of today, where ESPN sits with their Football Power Index. Because guess who owns the rights to the college football playoff broadcasts? ESPN. Guess who's giving the SEC $1 billion? ESPN. Does it make sense? No. Do you see what's happening? If you are ESPN, and this is the best way to put it, this is why the SEC is so dangerous right now. If you are ESPN and you put $1 billion into the Southeastern Conference, who do you want to win? The Big Ten? The Big 12? The MAC? No, you want the SEC to win. In the same way that you, Dale, in Butte, Montana, have $100,000 in Home Depot stock. Man, you don't even have $100,000 in the bank. You're just that confident in the growth of Home Depot. If that's the case, would you ever shop at Lowe's? No, of course not. You'd shop at Home Depot. So what you're seeing here is the SEC is just shopping at Home Depot. They're propping up the SEC. They have been. And now in response to that, the SEC gets to go on these media day rants, tangents, tears on how they're the best conference in college football, but also, we shouldn't have to play 9 games. Let's take you back. Eli Drinkwitz, big number 5, says there is regret for the 9-game schedule. Here's what Eli had to say, because the SEC is just too good to be playing each other 9 times in a year.
We're all saying it. We're all saying it. I think we're all saying it when we look at our schedules. It's going to be a real challenge. I think Coach Kiffin has been somebody who's been whether publicly or privately, been able to he's been the one on the forefront even last year in these meetings saying, guys, I don't think that this is the right play for us. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we got to meet those challenges head on now.
Every other conference has a 9-game conference schedule. Of our 12 games, 9 of them will be against intra-league opponents. And the SEC is now moving to a 9-game conference schedule and seems to be complaining about this. Again, if you're the best conference in college football, go win the national championships. Go win them all. You haven't been to the last 3. You haven't had a contestant in the last 3 national titles. And you have 3 wins since 2023 in the college football playoff. Ole Miss over Tulane, Texas at home over a hapless Clemson team that accidentally won the ACC, and Texas over Arizona State. Cam Scadaboo, Sam Levitt. That Texas team was in its first year since, leaving the Big 12. So you have a Big 12 team in the confines of the SEC who's won more college football playoff games than the traditional SEC powers. How? Why? Now, there were some funny moments, good quotes, interesting and odd things to take away from SEC Media Days yesterday, day 1, including Josh Heupel on whether or not hostility has died down toward Lane Kiffin. Josh Heupel's the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. Lane Kiffin is the old coach of the Tennessee Volunteers who left after 1 season, and now fans on Rocky Top hate Kiffin. That hasn't gone away, has it?
Certainly hope our fan base hasn't cooled off. So, whether it's the grocery stores being fully stocked with mustard, or our sports stores making sure that they got reinforcements on the golf balls. Hopefully, Knoxville's ready for his arrival.
Thank you, Josh Heupel, and thank you to a reference of the last time Lane Kiffin, when he was the head coach at Ole Miss, took his team into Knoxville, Tennessee, and fans threw ketchup, mustard bottles, golf balls at Kiffin out of hostility. Threw them onto the field because they hate the guy so much. A little note and nugget from the current UT head coach toward Kiffin. Then Will Stein, the Kentucky coach, took the podium, and he pulled a Kurt Signetti, the coach of the Indiana coach, national champion, said, "Google me" at his opening press conference. Here's Will Stein's version of that at SEC Media Days.
You said you came here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me. I think I know what it takes. I've seen it at the highest levels. I know what it takes to recruit at this level. And you just got to believe, man. You just got to put the ball down and play. There's not really else to be said.
I think because of me. It's going to sound weird, everybody, but we're going to win at Kentucky because of me. Said it in a humble way, at least. He's like, come on, I'm not trying to be that guy, but Google me. We're about to win. He takes over in his first year, Will Stein, the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats football team, for Mark Stoops, who actually won at Kentucky. Remember when Hal Mummy coached there, early 2000s, the hefty lefty, had that the refrigerator of a quarterback. Yeah, the big guy, left-hander. Went to that 7 overtime game against Arkansas. Man, college football rocks. It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. And you know what doesn't rock? Day 30 of the LeBron James saga. Dearest mother, I write to you from the camp. Though my heart is heavy and weary, worn down by siege, for weeks now we've stood frozen in the bitter mud of uncertainty, waiting for the great General LeBron James to declare his loyalties. Those in New York cry out for resolution, pleading for the calendar to be cast, so we might map the life and longevity of a man who may befall us in Cleveland or Miami, or distant shores. The men speak of little else by the campfire, wondering which banner he shall raise. For this purgatory of choice is crueler than any on the battlefield, your dutiful son, a weary supporter. That's how I feel, man. That's how I feel. I'm in the trenches. I'm foxholed up. I'm somewhere on the battlefield of Antietam, wondering where LeBron James is going to go. Riding home on day 30 of LeBron James Gate. And then it's like we switch every few days from, hey, he's going to make a decision. He's going to do it soon. He doesn't want to keep you waiting. He doesn't want to draw it out. It's not going to be dramatic. It's going to happen today. It's about to happen, I promise. And then a day like today, and his agent, Rich Paul, comes down the pipeline and says, nope, won't be rushed. Won't be rushed. Everyone else has done everything they can from here on out. It's on LeBron. His longtime agent, Rich Paul, who always spoken for the king, says per ESPN, we're not going to be rushed, and we're not going to be rushed because it's his choice to make. And when he makes the choice, he'll make it. So Paul is still getting plenty of phone calls. Probably Shams, who's saying, come on, tell me. Come on, please. I got to break this. Come on. ESPN's lead basketball insider. And Paul's been clear. I'm not telling anyone. LeBron will make his decision when he'd like to. Now, what that decision is and why it's taken this long, I'd love to know. Because at some point, right, I've got fatigue of turning on the TV or the radio, and it's LeBron James, and it has to be every 15 minutes. So this is my plea to you. LeBron James, do it now. Do it now. That's the thesis. That's the thing we need to know here. Is I get that the guy on microphone, guy on radio show is not going to persuade LeBron James to make his decision today. But if you want to salvage the whole, I'm not doing the decision, it's not my thing, I'm not going to take the spotlight. If you want that to still be the rhetoric, if you want that to still be how people view this, you have got to make the decision as quickly. We got the damn commissioner saying that he can't move. Guy can't as much as toot without asking LeBron James for permission right now. Trying to find out where the king is going for 2026-27 to build the NBA schedule around it. He said that, not me. LeBron needs to make a decision today if there's any semblance of saving this idea that he won't make the decision about himself and make it a national story that drags out. Feels like we're dragging out here, Mr. King. The Drake Toll Show. And good news for the world. Drake Toll with you. The Boston Red Sox. Good news if you're a Boston Red Sox fan. In an American League that has been so putrid, so terrible, the Boston Red Sox have now won 14 straight games to pull back above 500 and put themselves in a position to possibly land a wild card spot down the line. If the season ended today, the Red Sox would be right there, not too far out. And in the American League where, gosh, nobody seems to want to win, in an American League where only 4 teams are above 500, 14 consecutive wins is season-changing. Now, there's an 80-year-old record, a franchise record on the line. After winning 14 straight, they've matched their second longest streak in the history of the Boston Red Sox. We're going to go back to June 1946, the last time they won 15 games. Who led the club? Ted Williams. Yeah. And that standard, that record, has stood for 8 decades. Now it's even more historic, even bigger storyline, because the Red Sox were 37-48 when this began, 11 games below 500. Now they're 3 games above 500. 6 games out of first place in the AL East with a long way to go. We're only in mid-July. The Boston Red Sox could still very well win the AL East, namely with how the Yankees have struggled this year comparative to what their expectations were, how the Tampa Bay Rays are leading the division. You're 4.5 games back, the Red Sox are, of the Yankees for second place in the AL East, and 6 games back of first place, which is still held by the Tampa Bay Rays. They're barely holding on to it. And I don't think the Red Sox are scared of either of those, the Yankees or the Rays. This has become one of the great stories of the MLB in 2026 as it pertains to the back half of the season. 14 games. And they've done it on late-game execution. Happened again last night. Clutch 8th-inning home run. Red Sox 6, Orioles 5. Sox haven't coasted. They've clawed back multi-run deficits, high-leverage heroics. That, if you put $100, a rollover bet, you track each consecutive win, you'd have $577,000 in your pocket today because of what the Boston Red Sox have done in the last 2 weeks. Before the All-Star break, red hot. After the All-Star break, red hot. The Boston Red Sox are a story. And I've got tickets to tomorrow's game at Fenway against the Orioles. So if you could win tonight and break the record tomorrow, I'd really appreciate that. It'd be a very cool thing to see. It is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. When we come back, let's give you our biggest losers of the day, including LeBron James. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. This is the Drake Toll Show.
MLB is heating up. Time to find out who's for real and who will shape their lineup to be October contenders. Trade deadline is less than 2 weeks away. Westwood One Sports.
Our naked bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real name is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in a war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. he lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to Brawl. Notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo doll. I guess time does make fools of us all.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, locked on Big 12 right here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Stu Kovacs produces this week. Laura Jimenez runs the board. All right. Look, man, the LeBron James deal, the saga, the goose chase that he's taken us on, may it end, please. I'm ready. The Ryan Clark deal. This is the new one. Interesting. ESPN firing Ryan Clark mid-show. The pilot who pranked Argentina fans that they'd won the World Cup. Oh! And even Jeff Sterling, who hated the halftime show. It's time for our biggest losers of the day. Oh, yeah! Biggest loser number one. All of us for being held hostage by LeBron James. There is no decision, no choice yet. No timetable on a choice as of yet. So what else is there, Rich Paul? What else is there, LeBron? Where else do you want us to go? What do we turn our weary eyes to?
LeBron James.
It continues today. Tuesday, July 21st, Groundhog Day. Biggest loser of the day, ESPN. Yesterday, the original tweet from Andrew Marchand. ESPN has cut ties with NFL analyst Ryan Clark, The Athletic has learned. That came at 5:05 p.m. yesterday. At this point in time, ESPN still has Ryan Clark on the airwaves, at least to our knowledge. Because I watched ESPN yesterday, and Ryan Clark, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, the pro football player turned ESPN analyst, was on my TV. And then all of a sudden, mid-show, no more Ryan Clark. Didn't think anything of it. Okay, maybe just had Ryan on for a couple segments and said, see you later. No! He's been fired. Yet in the middle of his firing, ESPN was still using him on social media pieces, posting clips of Ryan Clark. Marchand tweets that and then says, our story's being updated. Clark was on NFL Live today. but was told during the program he was being let go, according to sources. He did not finish the program. ESPN was expected to inform him today, Tuesday morning, when it anticipates the network will inform more employees of the layoffs. So there are more coming today. Now, Andrew Marchand says, why did ESPN inform Ryan Clark during NFL Live while he was taping a show? Sources at ESPN tell Marchand the reason it told Clark during the show was due to media inquiries into his departure, a fear the news would leak out. Since after the Super Bowl in February, sources told The Athletic Clark's job was in jeopardy. Last week, The Athletic learned Clark was likely to be let go. ESPN's plan to do that was Tuesday morning, but receiving calls in the matter, they decided to inform him early. Congrats. 24 hours earlier than we expected to, we're firing you. Goodbye, Ryan Clark. Biggest loser in this one, it does fall on ESPN. Ryan Clark's fine. Ryan Clark's the guy, and he's one of 7 that they have. They each are kind of the crony of the show. They walk on set. It could be any given day, it's any different analyst. They walk on set. They got one for college, for NFL, that says, yeah, I'll say it. Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the NFL. I take him right now over Patrick Mahomes. I take him right now over Josh Allen. That was kind of Ryan Clark's role, was to say crazy thing. That Dan Orlovsky does this a lot. Like losing Ryan Clark, as long as you've got Dan Orlovsky, you've got the guy who can make bold takes on ESPN. And Clark was the guy for the NFL, and now he's the guy they fired. But the biggest loser is ESPN for somehow letting The Athletic learn in February that Clark's job was in jeopardy. How do other sources, newspapers, websites, they are aware of this guy possibly being fired months down the line? That doesn't make any sense. How do you leak that? How does that happen? Huh. All right, ESPN. Nice try. I guess we'll double down. Biggest loser of the day, the ESPYs, brokered by ESPN. Sorry, man, we're just at their neck today. Curt Cignetti was just snubbed. The best team of 2025-26 very well was the dominant Indiana Hoosiers, the first 16-0 team in college football history. But then, on the made-for-TV event at the ESPYs, guess who didn't win an award? The Indiana Hoosiers and Curt Cignetti at the ESPYs. Now, Cignetti probably wouldn't use an ESPY award for the whole us against the world mentality. But, Cignetti said himself that 16-0 hasn't happened in 136 years. Now, how that team doesn't win a certain award as Team of the Year, but some networks are consistent in getting it wrong. Oh! The head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, Curt Cignetti. Some networks are consistent at getting it wrong. Drop the hammer. Biggest loser of the day. This pilot for pranking Argentina fans. No. A pilot is going viral, telling Argentina fans on a flight that the Argentine team had won the World Cup. Whole flight goes nuts. Yeah! Ho-ho! We did it! Vamos! Just to find out that you didn't win the World Cup. How does this happen? Was there just no Wi-Fi? Could no one have Googled things? And what, do we suspend the pilot? Who do you sue? Who gets the civil lawsuit in this? I remember specifically being a young chap. We got the opportunity to go to Disney World. And during this run to Disney World, may have been November, December, we were going somewhere. The Arkansas Razorbacks were playing the Mississippi State Bulldogs. This is Petrino era. And my dad asked the pilot, hey, if you could, keep us updated on the Arkansas score. And every 12 minutes, 14 minutes, we'd get boo-doo. This is your captain speaking. The Arkansas Razorbacks currently this is a 10-0 in Starkville. And Kelly would hear some claps across the plane all the way through, man. Found out the Hogs won, I think, in overtime that game over Mississippi State. It was the pilot who told us intermittently over the course of the plane. Now, that's kosher. That's good. We can have that. It's the telling the Argentina fans they won the World Cup and lying to them. I'd probably draw the line there. Biggest loser of the day, the FIFA halftime show. And they should be. Here is TalkSport, a foreigner. I told you, the foreigners, they only love the sports side. They don't need the entertainment side. They don't need halftime shows at the FIFA World Cup. Here is Jeff Sterling from TalkSport.
Tom Cruise. You enjoyed that one, Jeff?
Oh, God help me. Makes me vomit. The whole thing. It's just... words fail me. I mean, just fail me. Reduces a tournament to that. It's unbelievable.
You didn't feel inspired by Tom Cruise there? No?
No, I felt physically ill.
Felt physically unwell.
Yeah, the whole thing, from Tom Cruise, the singing beforehand, the halftime show, the buffers coming out. I'm with whoever Jeff Sterling is from this British radio station. I'm in. We don't need all that. Do the soccer thing. It's the World Cup. Biggest loser of the day, the WNBA Players Association. Scott Agnes tweets, every camper at this Sophie Cunningham youth camp, 300 girls and boys, wants to get a photo with Sophie Cunningham. Of course. They stand in front of this big step and repeat. It's got the background on it. And Scott says, as you'd expect, all the kids want to do the signature point. Sophie Cunningham, WNBA player, a couple weeks ago, starts pointing across the court, kind of giving this smirk, this like duck face smirk, point, goes super viral. And all the kids want to do it with Sophie Cunningham. It's her signature moment from the season. Darren Rovell tweets, the WNBA Players Association is currently prohibiting licensees from using the Sophie Cunningham point, saying it is derogatory. Soft. That's what that is. That's soft. It's the WNBA Players Association being soft. One of your players pointed a finger at the opposition. It went stupid viral to the point that kids want to do it. And if this is real, if this is what we're pushing back, if the WNBA is killing another thing that's bringing popularity to the sport, that is soft. Biggest loser of the day, Le'Veon Bell. Never meet your heroes. Never meet your heroes. Arrested in Canton due to alleged child support neglect. An arrest warrant in Michigan. Yep. Le'Veon Bell. Gone but not forgotten. There was that era where, like, Steelers, Le'Veon Bell. You're looking at your fantasy draft. You get the 4th overall pick. You're thinking, man, this could be the year. That's who I want. That's my guy. How did he drop to 4? Eddie Lacy went 1. Le'Veon Bell, I've got to take him at 4. Trent Richardson went 2. Somewhere in there, Tony Romo went. Now I've got to take Le'Veon Bell. Child support neglect, man. And the biggest loser of the day, Michigan, announcing Warden Manuel and his eventual retiring thing during Greg Sankey's press conference yesterday at SEC Media Days. I just salt in the wound for Michigan and the Big Ten. When we return, let's give you our obituaries. It is Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Who died today? This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes.
Gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the
At the
war
tone, the
machine
broadcast will
keeps
begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh, Lord, yeah.
Will begin in 3 minutes.
Politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war. Why should they go out to fight?
Final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Now in darkness, world stops turning. Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. And as God has struck the hour, day of judgment, God is calling. On the knees, the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for the sick.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Vampire Weekend brings us back in. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Stu Kovacs produces this week. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization and Locked On Big 12. Right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Still don't know where LeBron James is going, do we, huh? It's never will the sun ever shine again? Not on this one. And Rich Paul says the timeline for return is LeBron James' timeline, and he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't care about you. But LeBron, you did tell us that you were going to make this one a little faster. This wasn't going to be a long, drawn-out, dramatic thing. 310-840-4910. You can call or text the show. 310-840-4910. Question being, the longer this goes, the worse LeBron looks? Is that the case? The longer this stretches out, the worse LeBron looks. And maybe that doesn't matter to LeBron, but it seems like it matters when the consistent conversation is around legacy. Around this whole thing is legacy. What is his legacy? If that's what he cares about, if that's what that's what the court of public opinion keeps pushing here, if legacy is what matters, if that's the L word here, then LeBron's legacy isn't going to be aided by the fact that he's taken this long and wasn't going to do the whole, sit down in a polo and a button-down shirt in a basketball gym with, was it Shap from ESPN, and say, I'm going to Miami. All right. If you weren't going to add all the pomp and circumstance, then just get it done. I feel like at this point, now that every team's given its pitch, now that every player is trying to sell you LeBron James on it, you should know. Just do the thing. Please. Spain knocks off Argentina 1-0. Ends the international career of Lionel Messi. He's done. He won't play again. And the world champions, the FIFA World Cup, are the Spanish. The Boston Red Sox have won 14 straight games. How do you do that? The rest of the American League is wondering how you do that. And the Seattle Mariners overtook the Texas Rangers yesterday, becoming the only team in the AL West above 500. And now the M's lead the AL West alongside struggling Cal Raleigh. The Mariners are 4-6 in their last 10. And somehow that's good enough. They've climbed the totem pole to be number one in their division. Welcome to the American League. And Ryan Clark got fired. There's a place to start today's obituaries. Dead today, Ryan Clark at ESPN. And I don't have a problem with Ryan Clark. Frankly, I thought Ryan Clark stirred the pot enough to create conversation half the time. And this is the prototype ESPN's kind of gone for. This Skip Bayless, this Stephen A. Smith. Let's bring a guy in who just kind of says stuff. Now, there's been speculation across the internet that this came after Clark had mentioned to a reporter on ESPN who had not played in the league, like, oh, you would say some stuff like that because you didn't play in the league. No. The Athletic has reported, Andrew Marchand, that for a while now, there have been talks, since the Super Bowl, there have been talks about ESPN letting Ryan Clark go. He was on NFL Live yesterday, the middle of the show. ESPN's like, hey, the rumor mill's getting a little aggressive on Ryan Clark. Can we just fire him? Like, no, he's in the middle of a show. No, but we're going to need to just fire him, otherwise this thing's going to get out. And so they did. In the middle of NFL Live, they pulled Ryan Clark off the air, and they fired him. Oh! ESPN looks like the bad guy. Stu Kovacs producing the Drake Toll Show this week. Am I off base there? It feels like ESPN is they're the bad guy in the situation.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the fact that it's being done in the middle of a broadcast as the guy's giving his thoughts on, a bunch of different topics, including the Cowboys and all this. And, yeah, it is one of those things where it's just unfortunate timing, but also it's like, it's just such a bad look that it got out. And then they had to do it during that time.
Yeah, yes, they did. Well, dead today. People who had hopes of attending the Masters. Masters rejection day yesterday. Ian McMillan tweets, Happy Masters rejection day. 2027 application update. Those applicants got their emails. It says, thank you for submitting your ticket application. Unfortunately, your entry was not selected this year. The Masters says they deeply appreciate patrons' interest and support. As part of their commitment to bring fans closer to the tournament, they'll continue to explore new ways to elevate the presentation of the Masters through our broadcast. Digital platforms and other channels look forward to sharing how fans can follow and celebrate the 91st Masters Tournament next April. Ever tell you the story about my, I've got a very close connection who has one ticket. He's an old golf pro, mid-50s, old golf pro, one ticket every year, thanks PGA, legacy, to the Masters. Problem is, what are you going to do with one ticket? You can't bring your friend. You can't bring your kids. You can't bring your wife. You're stuck. The toughest tournament to get into. You're given one ticket to do it. You got to do it solo. I mean, yeah, you do it at least once, but at what point, you want to share it. Dead today, the upper deck at Old Highmark Stadium. There she goes. There she goes again. The former home of the Buffalo Bills. They've begun tearing it down. The upper deck is falling as cranes push down the old concrete of Highmark Stadium. The memories, the losses, the Buffalo Bills, and a new complex will be unveiled in 2026. We are merely a month and a half away from kicking off the NFL season and the Buffalo Bills playing their home games in a brand new stadium. Dead today, turf fields in the NFL. Players hate it. Players hate the turf. They don't want the turf. At least that's what they've said on Twitter. Tucker Kraft tweets, Green Bay Packers are spoiled since we play on the greatest surface in the NFL. Natural grass is the best. Jonathan Taylor says natural grass isn't out of reach. Prioritizing players shouldn't be either. We are #worth the cost. George Kittle, grass looks great at MetLife for the FIFA World Cup final. Can we keep it that way? Would appreciate that, NFL. Even Caleb Williams saying, why can't we have grass too? Hold on, pause. Laramie Tunsil said that once upon a time. Oh, Laramie Tunsil weighed in on the issue. Oh, he said if stadiums can make grass work for the World Cup, they can make it work for NFL players. We are worth the cost. Breaking news, Laramie Tunsil really wants grass. Thank you, Laramie. Final couple of obituaries today. Dead today, Aaron Rodgers' feud with his family. Yes! We got it! We're so back. It's just the meme of we got Aaron Rodgers' reunion with his family before we got GTA 6. And it's Grand Theft Auto. Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, Ari Mirov tweets, has remained distant from his family over the years, even immediate family. We've heard much talk in the last decade of how he's iced out his parents, iced out siblings, but no. He posted pictures on his Instagram yesterday of his mom, his dad, his brother, and even more. Aaron Rodgers with a little Phineas song, the artist Phineas, who's Billie Eilish's brother. That sentence may make no sense to you, and you're probably better off as a human being if that sentence does make no sense to you. But he posted it with that little song as the caption. Said he got to bond this week. #fam. Rodgers, who's had a tumultuous relationship with his family over the course of his NFL career, looks like he's back in good graces with those who you love most. Aww. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Steelers fans are excited about this. They got family man Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. Finally dead today. The Angels' losing streak. A 106-game losing streak entering the 9th inning while trailing. That's crazy, by the 106 is wild. You haven't rallied back in 106 straight games when you enter the 9th inning down. That's crazy. Longest active streak in the MLB. It ended last night. War's over. Walk-off hit by pitch. Angels beat the Cardinals. That's it. 106 games. Down the drain. Get a new streak. The Angels went a walk-off hit by pitch. Gross. 3-2 the final score. Those Angels of Anaheim are 40-61 now. Congrats. Those are our obituaries. Time for the quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. Stu Kovacs produces. Stu Kovacs reads them. Drake Toll responds.
All right, we had day one of the SEC Media Days yesterday, and it was dominated by talks of a possible breakaway from the NCAA, as well as coaches sharing their concerns about the 9-game conference schedule.
The conference schedule thing is baffling to me because every other conference plays 9 conference games. But the SEC, all high and mighty, seems so high and mighty that they shouldn't have to. We should get an exception. We're the SEC. We don't need to play 9 conference games. Eli Drinkwitz, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers, even going as far as saying that we all agree it was a mistake. Shouldn't have done it. It's not going to help us. It's only going to hurt us. If you're the best conference in college football, that should hold up in the playoff. It should hold up through 9 games. It should hold up through 16 the way it did for Indiana last year. The SEC is just in another... They're on a soapbox again to complain. Now, Stu, to your point on leaving the NCAA, they're serious about it. The commissioner, Greg Sankey, said, this is a real thing we may do, could do, are considering doing. Is that a positive thing? No, it's not a positive thing for college football. The SEC leaves the NCAA. It throws the whole thing into anarchy. We could be looking in 3 years' time at 2 different national champions. It all regresses to the mean. It all regresses to arguing over who's the national champion. That's a minute. That's over a minute. Sorry, Stu.
All right. Rich Paul, he talked to Max Kellerman about LeBron James's decision, and he said, quote, "We are not going to be rushed. It is his choice to make, and when he makes a choice, he'll make it," end of quote.
LeBron fatigue. I've got it. I'm coming down with it. It's a sickness that's sweeping the nation. And it could be today. That's how vague that LeBron has been. It's how vague his agent, Rich Paul, has been. It could be today that LeBron makes his decision, and it sounds like it doesn't. They've been clear. Every team has given their respective pitches. They know exactly what they're up against. They know the money. They know the personnel. They know what they're up against. It's now up to LeBron to decide what he wants to do, and I just don't know what other information. What else do you need? What else do you need, LeBron, to just say, you know what? It's Philadelphia. It's Golden State. It's Cleveland. What else do you need? I don't have as strong a take as I do a question. What more do you need? Possibly money, though he said he'll work on the cheap to #win. That's a minute.
All right. A longtime Michigan athletic director Ward Manuel is to step down at the end of the year. The school announced that on Monday.
This is a weird one. Ward Manuel has been at the He's been at the center, or at least like center left, of a lot of controversy since becoming the AD at Michigan, and Connor Stallions, to the more we find out about the tenure of Harbaugh at Michigan as the head football coach, and then Sharon Moore comes in, and there's the mistress, and did Ward Manuel, the athletic director, know about the mistress? It seems less of Ward Manuel wants to step down or retire, and more Ward Manuel is being forced to resign and is out as the athletic director at the end of the year. I mean, Michigan's doing him a favor by giving him to the end of the football season to still be the AD. And he's been there for over 10 years. He's a Michigan man. He played football there, but there were enough scandals, enough things that ultimately the university couldn't fly with anymore, and Ward Manuel wasn't a good look. He won the national title in basketball, national title in football as an athletic director, and it still wasn't enough. How many skeletons have to be in your closet to win natties in the 2 major sports, and then your university effectively say, hey, we need you to step down? His future has been uncertain since April per the AP, and now it all comes crashing down. That's a minute.
The Boston Red Sox win their 14th consecutive game, one shy of their franchise record, as they continue to climb up the AL Wild Card and AL East standings.
They're good again. The Boston Red Sox. Remember when they fired Alex Cora and the whole world fell apart? It was, no, the Red Sox. 14-game win streak is the most since tonight they could tie it with 15, which would tie their record that dates back to June of 1946. Ted Williams set that record as a Red Sox back in 46, right after World War II. We're talking World War II, and the Boston Red Sox can set a record, tie a record tonight. I've got tickets to Wednesday's game. It'd be the record breaker. I need them to win tonight. It'd be the record breaker. I need it. They were 37-48 when the win streak began, and now they're 3 games above 500. And finally, they're 6 games back of leading the AL East behind the Tampa Bay Rays, only 4.5 games back of second place with the Yankees. They're in position for a possible wild card spot. I'll say it. The Boston Red Sox, they're back. And with plenty of time, they can still win their division. They've got the clutch factor. I know it's kind of a stupid way to put that. Like, oh, what do you mean clutch factor? Or try to conceptualize that. Like, you can't. It's just the clutch factor, Stu. That's a minute.
Yeah, you know it when you see it. Last one here. Tom Brady reportedly in talks with WWE, meaning we could see the legendary quarterback in the wrestling ring in the near future.
I don't even know, Stu. I don't know if I have a minute about this. What just a terrible. I don't dislike the WWE, and I think it's good. I think the sports entertainment realm is good. I think it's funny having I Show Speed or Kai Cenat or Jake Paul or Pat McAfee. Like, those guys make sense for WWE. Tom, you don't have to do this. You are a broadcaster at Fox. You're the most decorated quarterback in NFL history. You're the greatest to ever do it. You don't have to tarnish your reputation this way. Like, it brings people an appreciation for the greats that retire and just fade out of the spotlight. The greats that retire and stay around the game in a stoic way. Tom Brady is slapping Jake Paul, giving the middle finger to Logan Paul in very public stunts. And we knew this 4 days ago when he started these stunts. We knew that he was probably promoting the WWE or some sort of cage match or fight or something, and he is. This is just about money, and it's tarnishing the reputation of one of sports greats. And I don't like that at all. Thank you, Stu.
Thank you, Drake.
That was the quickie. Those are the top 5 headlines on all sports. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Stu Kovacs produces. When we return, may I? The Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. What? Here we go again. Dak Prescott said it, not me. Not me. I'm not saying it, but Dak Prescott kind of said it. This is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Preseason games start in just a few weeks, kicking off with the Hall of Fame game from Canton, Panthers, Cardinals, and we've got the game from your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me out. And if I need a breather, I can hit the Parkway. Be home before the bars all close. Drink away the lies she told. Think about
At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes
she was
and 30
the
seconds.
right child of a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep, far from the eyes of a watchful town. Mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, good heart loving on a gravel road, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes.
Push came down to shove, I'd be a fan for her love.
At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30
Sharp and
seconds.
walk away. She was good before she changed her name, and I bet that ain't all that's changed. Goddamn, I remember the night. I was a young punk kid from a dried up town, Cold Car County full of hunting hounds. She was the one who kept those boys at bay. Her high heels and my red wing boots, cutting couches in the living room, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck by God, I can keep it together. Just to hold my baby close, get her moving down a county road. Make up
At
for
the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes.
She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen. She ran on sex and gasoline. Far more money than a boy like me could hold. She went off to paint the town, and I'm stuck holding these mountains down, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck
At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute 30 seconds.
Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute.
Oh, Lexington's a city, but it ain't so big, it freaks me
Stations,
out.
this is your final time check.
And if I
At the
need a
Tone, the
breather, I can
broadcast will
get the
begin in
park
30
break.
seconds.
Be home before the bars all close. Drink away the lies she told. Think about the days. She was a pure-eyed child, a rodeo queen, high school lover in a badass Jeep. Far from the eyes of a watchful town. Your mama didn't need to know. Good corn liquor to shake this cold, and good hot loving on a gravel road, Juliet. Won't you crawl outside your window and dance in the arms of your redneck Romeo?
It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Good morning. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. See you on Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. The Party Animals and the Indianapolis Clowns, the last surviving brand of the Negro Leagues. The Indianapolis Clowns, folded in 1979, but now they are back and playing on ESPN. I'll have the call with Cameron Stewart. You know, the Boston guy that joins the show? Yeah. That will happen Thursday night, 7 o'clock ESPN. Look, man. LeBron James is still looking for a home. And until he finds a home, and after he finds a home, that's what's going to dominate the headlines. That's what people are going to be talking about. Tom Brady is ruining his reputation. And until Tom Brady stops ruining his reputation, that's what people are going to be talking about. How is he ruining it? By getting in with the WWE side of things. Not to say WWE is bad, but it's typically reserved for the athletes, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons of the world, who didn't pan out as athletes. And they joined WWE as thespians, and it helped their career take off. And you know what? I think it's awesome. If you like WWE, I'm not upset with you. I don't think everybody's like, oh, it's fake. Man, these people don't believe Tom Brady hates Jake Paul or Logan Paul or any of these old YouTube Disney stars that he's been slapping and giving the middle finger to. We can all see right through it, but it's for entertainment. That's what it's about. But my message would be, hey, Tom, if you want to salvage your legacy, there's the L word again. We've been using it a lot for LeBron. Legacy. If you want to salvage your legacy and how the world views you, how the sports world views you, stop doing WWE stunts for a quick buck or to stay in the spotlight. You're already the greatest quarterback of all time. You don't need to do this. You don't need to tarnish that sentiment by joining the clown show side of this. WWE itself, I've got complete and ultimate respect for what they do, how they do it, the way they do it. Showmanship. That's not the clown show piece. That's not the upsetting part. That's not WWE itself is not the clown show. But the way Tom Brady is handling this is by slapping people with Karl Anthony Towns holding him back. Like, I love what WWE gives people for the Pat McAfees of the world. And I personally, after watching different events this year alone, got some close friends that like it. They put me on. I see the entertainment value. I see what they're going for. But I don't think Tom Brady, for what he wants, for how people remember him, needs that. And look, if he had retired from the NFL, the first thing he said was, I want to be an actor. I want to go into WWE. I want to be an actor. I want to do all these things in the entertainment sphere. It'd be different, but he didn't. He said, I want to be the number one analyst at Fox. There's a prestige that comes with that. A prestige that Tom Brady's kind of throwing out the window with all of this. Not a good thing. It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Staying in the NFL, staying with quarterbacks, staying with delusion. Dak Prescott, yes, the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. Well, I mean, it's Super Bowl or bust, at the very least. That's the sentiment from Dak Prescott, Cowboys quarterback, with maybe the best offense in the NFL. Maybe the worst defense in NFL history, but a great offense for Dak Prescott and company. Here is Dak saying that the one thing left for him in his career is that coveted Lombardi trophy.
Shoot, yeah, that's what's left for me. And that's always been my mindset. You know, that's the one thing I truly love about the Cowboys organization and the fan base is it's that or nothing. And as I said, wherever that was on the live stream, is that's what being a competitor is. If that's not how you're wired, if that's not how you think, whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, then I think you're in the wrong business. And honestly, I don't want you on my team. So I love those expectations, and they'll always be there.
We want to win the Super Bowl. That's it. That's the only thing on our mind. It is Super Bowl or nothing. In my lifetime, in many lifetimes, the Cowboys have not been to the NFC Championship game. The Cowboys have not been to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys have not won the NFC. The Cowboys have done nothing. Decades. But it's this cyclical timeline. What you need to understand, the big takeaway, is we all just need to shut up. We do. We all just need to just stop pumping the Cowboys like this. You turn on the TV, you turn on the radio, and it's just Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. They're going to win. And we either hate listen, we hate watch, we love listen, we love watch. And guess what? I've got more Cowboys memorabilia in my closet than anything else. Grew up in Arkansas. What's the closest NFL team? The Dallas Cowboys. Went to Baylor University. What's the official NFL team of Baylor University? The Dallas Cowboys. Spent years going to what games? The Dallas Cowboys. When we could afford it, we were going to Cowboys games. Parker Pittman walks in. It's a Monday, 9:46 a.m. Hey, dude, Cowboys play the Eagles Monday Night Football tonight. I bought 2 tickets. Venmo me $300. We're going. Don't ask questions. I'd love to see him win, man. I'd love to see the Cowboys win for my own personal gain, for me to feel something again. But I'm tired. We all just have to stop this psychosis around the Dallas Cowboys. Because you know what it is? Do you know what today is? The Oxnard Awakening. It's where we go. Woke up today. The sun came out in Addison, Texas. You turn on local radio, the Cowboys, this could be the year the offense is as good as it's ever been in the history, a long history of Dallas sports. This Cowboys offense is revolutionary. Pristine, those blue and silver practice clips start coming out of training camp in California. Local beat reporters are there. Man, I've never seen anything like this. And all of a sudden, the vibe around this Cowboys team is different. This is the year. Dak Prescott's never looked so good against his own team. Fans are looking at the roster. Man, what a draft we had. A couple key free agent pickups. You squint through the burnt orange and blue sunshine of the California sun to convince yourself that that right there, that wide receiver, he's the next guy. I mean, that kid will be cut after practice, but you thought he would be the next guy. The Lombardi Trophy is ours. Bro. If the pass rush clicks, if the defense isn't a historical disaster, we have literally no holes. This is the year. Super Bowl LIV, Super Bowl LX, Super Bowl, whichever one it is ours, okay? It's ours. I hear it every year. Week 1, swagger, chest thump, we're the Cowboys. The national media is on it now. This could be the season. The Dallas Cowboys kick things off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they feel like it's the year. Then you blow out a hapless opponent, prime time, Sunday Night Football. You win by 3. Whatever you do, you lose by 3. Dak Prescott's the MVP. He's the front runner. Sports talk shows spend 72 hours straight asking if America's team is the best in the NFC. They're still America's team. Here comes the radio host. I tried to tell everyone. They laughed at us in July, but the offense is unstoppable. Jerry Jones was right this time. He was right this time. Then October hits. You lose a sloppy game to Cleveland. Oh. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't feel like you're a Super Bowl contender anymore, does it? Fans are on Reddit. They're on Twitter. The demand coordinator. Fire somebody. But then somebody says, it's a long season. Every contender has a bad game. Come on, just hunker down. The defense has some issues, but it'll be fixed by the trade deadline. The Cowboys are still a playoff team. Then Thanksgiving Day. The Cowboys sit there at deceptively promising 7-4, 6-5. They're a dangerous wild card. If we just win 3 of the next 5, it's it 3 of the next 5, and San Francisco's going to lose at least 4, we'll sneak in. We'll be the 2 seed. We'll control our destiny. And by a mid-December Sunday night meltdown, you hate the team. You're never watching them again. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Why do you do it every year? They're cursed. They're cursed. You fell for the trap. It's July 21st, dog. I'm telling you, this is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Don't buy into it. Don't buy into the Cowboys hype. You shouldn't have done it last year. You should have done it the year prior. You should have done it 30 years ago. You should not buy into the Cowboys hype. Because you always do. And then the rug sweeps out from underneath you. And by mid-January, you'll be a complete, emotional, numb wreck. They'll miss the playoffs, suffer a brutal exit in the wild card stage. You get to wild card weekend and get blown out if you do make the playoffs. Jerry Jones walks into 15 microphones pressed to his cheeks, the bowels of some stadium. I get it. I hear you. Changes are coming. No one more frustrated than me. But I like my guys. And then they'll say it. Those Cowboy fans will say it. Whatever. The draft is in April. We always win the draft. We're going to reload the O-line. And with a high pick and our new defensive coordinator, it's going to work. Rinse and repeat the cycle. It is the Drake Toll Show. Speaking of cycles, Michigan's had a cycle of controversy around one man and his tenure. Ward Manuel, the athletic director for the Wolverines. Well, soon-to-be deposed athletic director, who has been effectively, at least, here's the deal, me saying this, he was fired. He was fired. Ward Manuel, stepping down at the end of his calendar year, the school released a summary of an independent investigation into the, quote, culture of a scandal-plagued athletic department. So you're telling me you investigated the guy, and now all of a sudden the athletic director at Michigan is stepping down at the end of the year? Yeah. With honors, with tenure. It's a good thing. He's stepping down, and it works. He's stepping down because he's doing the right thing. Falling on his own sword here. No. You fired him. You told him that you could save some face by resigning at the end of the season, but you fired him. The same guy who oversaw the Connor Stallions sign-stealing scandal, same athletic director, during that multi-layered sign-stealing operation where I'm Venmoing people to sit on the front row of college football stadiums and scout other teams illegally. You oversaw the Matt Weiss computer hacking scandal. Remember that one? You fired co-offensive coordinator Matt Weiss due to a report of computer access crimes at the football facility. Then Ward Manuel, athletic director, Michigan. The situation escalated when prosecutors, federal prosecutors, indicted Weiss, said he hacked in the university's medical system, targeted personal accounts, data, intimate photos of students, female athletes even. You were the AD for that. Sharon Moore, his arrest. Jim Harbaugh leaves. Sharon Moore is bagging the mistress over here. You may have known about it. And then you're the guy who fires him in December of 2025. After an investigation revealed, all of a sudden, now we see a relationship with a subordinate staff member that you doubled the salary of. Ward Manuel, you were the AD for that. When Moore was arrested for felony of home invasion, stalking, breaking and entering, you were the AD for that. COVID-19 recruiting violations. You recruited during a dead period. You were the AD for that. There have been numerous scandals at Michigan under the tutelage of a guy named Ward Manuel. Turns out he's just really bad at being shady. Like, be better at being shady, dog. That's the take. That's the hot button here. If you're Ward Manuel, you're the Michigan athletic director, and you want to facilitate all these scandals, know about all these scandals, be better at hiding them. You weren't good enough at hiding them. And now Michigan's announcing, in a classy move, Ward Manuel, the athletic director, will be stepping down. Okay. All right. Stepping down, huh? Can't fool me. Can't get this one past Drake Toll. No chance. When we come back, we'll give you our idiots of the day. The Defensive Player of the Week this week, though, sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving all branches of the armed services, veterans and their families. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Our members are on the mission. This week's player, Argentina goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. Sunday's World Cup final against Spain, Martinez saved 11 of the 12 shots that came his way. The 11 saves was a World Cup final record. NavyFederal.org. Idiot of the day on the way. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Preseason games start in just a few weeks, kicking off with the Hall of Fame game from Canton, Panthers, Cardinals, and we've got the game from your home of the NFL, Westwood One Sports.
At the Zone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free.
At the Zone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes.
Feed the babies who don't have enough to eat. Shoe the children with no shoes on their feet. How's the people living in the street? Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea.
At the Zone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
My spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Right through the revolution. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future.
At the Zone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping
broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. Live on the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, that Westwood One Sports app, or Sirius XM 375, 310-840-4910. That's your way to get involved today, 310-840-4910. Before we get to our idiots of the day, this guy is certainly not one. John from Portland, you're on the Drake Toll Show. What's going on?
Oh, thanks, Mike. Hey, before I have two quick soccer takes, but your Cowboy rant was great, and I'll never really understand the grip the Star has on its fans. It's Cowboy cult. I really don't get it. But quick on soccer, I hope soccer, after watching itself all this time, I hope soccer realized they got problems with the clock at the end of games. It's stupid. And then I also hope Team USA realizes if 1-0 and some defense wins the World Cup, why aren't we winning this thing? I don't see the other teams any better. So that's all I got. Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate the call, John. And Mike will be on later. The take of 1-0, and there are tactical advantages, and one team, Argentina, is just so much better than the United States, and that's not going to show through on the scoreboard, which is funky, I know, and I'm starting to grapple and wrap my mind around how 1-0 can be a blowout or how 1-0 can be something that I think maybe what you're looking for is like Paraguay beating Germany. That's a match where Paraguay really mucked it up, and this was one where there were penalty kicks, and this is the round of 32. It occurred in the knockout stage this year. I was on hand for it and was blown away with how Paraguay, a much worse team, was able to beat Germany by making Germany so uncomfortable. They didn't play a prestigious, ethical game. No. They went and mucked it up. The United States has the opportunity and option to do that. But I think what you saw was a legendary goalkeeper performance out of Argentina and Martinez. And with that, it shows what the U.S. would still. I mean, if Spain plays that same game, they'd probably score 4 goals against the United States. Argentina they're that savvy for right place, right time, and still lost the World Cup. But yeah, the United States men's national team, we as a society are going to see the 1-0 score and say, we don't care. Well, we don't need to be good at that. That's a stupid sport anyway. A lot of people have that take today, and that's why I think soccer's just not going to catch on. I said it after the U.S. lost 4-1 to Belgium. Soccer's dead here. We just don't care. We're just not going to care about the United States in soccer. We get to this point in the year, and my buddies from college are like, yeah, man, I'm rooting for France. What do you mean you're rooting for France? Well, the United States can't win. Huh. Okay, so you just have a backup country? Yeah, I got a backup country. Who can win it? That's how we view the sport. And I began to like the added time, actually. This just mysterious pie in the sky. Once we hit 90 minutes, your guess is as good as mine. Do we get 4 minutes? Do we get 7 minutes? Do we get 11 minutes? Your guess is as good as mine. Incredibly frustrating, but also a very fun game to play with your friends. I bet they add 8 minutes. They add 9. Like, oh, so close. I got to liking that portion of the World Cup toward the end. But it would be a lot cleaner for everybody if we knew, hey, at 90 minutes, you're done. We'll stop the clock for injuries. At 90 minutes, you're done. Game over. That's it. Period. See ya. Smell ya. Much more digestible. Thanks for the call, John. It's time for our Idiots of the Day.
Idiot of the Day.
Idiot of the Day, number 1. ESPN or Ryan Clark. This is possibly the final time you'll hear from Ryan Clark on ESPN. It went kind of viral yesterday as he gave a take about the Dallas Cowboys having realistic Super Bowl expectations for the year. This during his appearance, whatever you will, on ESPN yesterday. He's fired in the middle of a show, not because he said this, but it's very funny. He's fired after he said this.
You know what? They are realistic this year. You go get Christian Parker from the Philadelphia Eagles. He understands how to keep the top on the defense, not give up the big play. And you're expecting someone like DeMarvion Overshown to be exactly what we saw him ascending to be before the injury. We watched him play a little bit last year. I expect him to be fully healthy and be an X factor in what they want to do. It's also going to be about how you acclimate Caleb Downs. You pick him in the top 12 of the NFL draft. Many people thought he would go earlier. He's an absolute savant when it comes to defensive football. How do you implement him? How do you use him? Is he going to be the nickel? Is he going to be the down safety? Will you keep him in the middle of the field? Can we see him one-on-one with tight ends? That's going to be very important to this defense because let's not get it twisted. If this offense is the same thing, they just have to be all right this year. And so if we could see George Pickens in camp, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and Shoddy get those guys going, this could be a team that we're actually talking about at the end of the season, not just the beginning.
I told you, Ryan Clark. I told everyone, don't buy into the hype. Don't buy into the Dallas Cowboys. Moments after making that take on ESPN, Ryan Clark was relieved of his duties. R.I.P. Idiot of the Day. Nick Sirianni. Oh, this headline, so rich. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni used ChatGPT this offseason to keep his messages fresh to his team. He said, this per Underdog NFL, that he would search on ChatGPT stories with great relentless effort. And his first AI prompt was around the lines of, ChatGPT, tell me a sports story about relentless effort. And that's how he's hyped up his team this offseason. If there's anything you can just not say, it's that. You'd have to waterboard that out of me. You just don't have to tell people that, Nick Sirianni. But thank you for your transparency and honesty. Idiot of the Day. These cats. A guy at a Chicago Cubs game refused to stand during the national anthem, and so a dude behind him just smacked the guy. Like, all right. Guys get into a Cubs game. One guy refuses to stand. One guy says stand up or get smacked. And then he smacked him. Now, which guy is the idiot of the day? Is it the smacker? We probably shouldn't smack people. Or is it the sitter? Guy seems pretty capable of standing in this situation, but just squatted down, hanging out. Guess, yo, stand up, respect, or you will get smacked. In the end, he got smacked. Stu, who do we give the idiot to here? Who do you want? I'll allow you to bestow this one.
It is
Two guys.
choice.
One's not standing. The other guy committed violence. We don't do the violence, but it's, hey, we're 50-50.
Yeah, I've always been of the believing if you're able to stand for the anthem, you stand. So I'm on the side of the guy yelling at the guy. So I think the The idiot is the guy that is not standing.
The slap guy would have really hated the Argentine fans during the British national anthem last Wednesday in Atlanta, where they danced and sang the entire time. Idiot of the day, Rob Gronkowski, for falling asleep when he visited the Patriots before being drafted by Bill Belichick. At least that's what Belichick told Colin Cowherd.
The moment for me, and we brought him on a visit, and when he came in on his 30-30 visit, he fell asleep. It was a terrible visit, one of the worst we ever had. Several of our coaches said, this guy's just not a fit for the New England Patriots. He doesn't even care enough to stay awake on the visit.
That's so Rob Gronkowski. It's not even funny. Yet the Patriots still drafted him, and it worked out in the end. Idiot of the day, Tom Brady, who is just inching ever closer toward a WWE career and a WWE fight with Logan Paul. Shocking news today. From Pro Football Talk, Tom Brady keeps moving toward a WWE, quote, fight with Logan Paul, and someone needs to tell Brady to stop. 100%, man. I understand a Dwayne The Rock Johnson, a Hulk Hogan, these legends of WWE and wrestling and why they did what they did, and former athletes who take it to the ring. But you're Tom Brady. You don't have to do this. You don't have to flip off Logan Paul or threaten to slap Logan Paul or slap Jake Paul or any of that. Michael Rubin, the Fanatics founder who loves WWE and Tom Brady and all this stuff, seems to be behind a lot of this, and it's not a great look for the pro QB. If this is what you want to chase, if this is the legacy you want to leave, the reputation you want to have left behind you, Tom, I just don't think it's me talking here, guy to guy. This is not how you want to be remembered in 15 years. You want to be in the John Madden or the Joe Montana category. It is Stu Kovacs producing. Laura Jimenez runs the board. When we return, the SEC wants to break away from the NCAA? What's all that about? It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Tolles Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
The Tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
I'm just looking for clues at the scene of the crime. Life's been good to me so far. My Maserati does 185. I lost my
At The Tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes.
I have a limo right in the back. I lock the doors in case I'm attacked. I'm making records, my fans, they can't wait. They write me letters, tell me I'm great. So I got me an
seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. Tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute 30 seconds. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds. The Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can listen live all day, every day on that Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM 375, and the Drake Toll Show on YouTube. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. At least that's what I'm being told. At least that's what Ryan Clark said on ESPN, and then Ryan Clark was fired shortly after, while live on NFL Live. Oh, no. LeBron James has still not made a decision. The Boston Red Sox have won 14 games. The Pirates and the Yankees got into a squabble last night. And the Dodgers fell to the Phillies 10-7. There are question marks still around the LA Dodgers, but come on. What the Dodgers do every year, and I think Dave Roberts is a genius for doing this, is, hey, we know we're going to the postseason. All we have to do over the course of the regular season is win enough games to win the division. We win the West, or we get into the postseason. From there, we lock back into Dodgers postseason mode, and all of a sudden, we remember baseball again. We learned over the course of the year how to beat teams like the Cubs, the Brewers. We learned over the course of the year how to beat the Braves, the Phillies. We figured them out somewhere in there. And we were ready when the postseason came to make the World Series. That's the goal of the LA Dodgers. So don't, 4-6 in their last 10, but don't press the red button yet on the Dodgers. Elsewhere, Tom Brady joining WWE. He's flipping people off and slapping the Paul brothers. And FIFA will investigate a clash after the World Cup final. Yeah. Some violence between Spain and Argentina after the final was over, when several Argentina players and coaches met with the Spanish team on the field after Ferran Torres of the Spanish national team won their team the game with a goal in the 106th minute. Hello. But all of that paled in comparison our first hour to the SEC leaving the NCAA. And I'd like to go there. But I'd first like to give you an update, the update, on the decision for LeBron James, who will not be rushed into making this decision. His agent and longtime friend, Rich Paul, is in the middle of this entire thing. Not shocking. This is the guy who's brokered all of it. Clutch Sports. Rich Paul is LeBron's dude. If you know the name LeBron James, you need to know the name Rich Paul. He's behind the scenes. And my plea with LeBron is just do it. You got this. Go ahead. Tell us. Last night, 1:44 a.m. Eastern Time, Dave McMahon posts an article on ESPN saying that Rich Paul was clear on a podcast with Max Kellerman, we're not going to be rushed. LeBron, my plea is just do this because at some point you're going to teeter past the line. The pendulum has swung all the way toward annoying, to where we as a society have fatigue over the decision, over what LeBron wants to do and where LeBron wants to go. That we're all just a little bit over it. And you're losing the interest of people. Instead of the time going on and us talking about it more and more and wanting it more, come on, you got to do it, you have to do it. Now it's just become do it or we're done, or there's not, the fatigue of this. Fans have stopped caring. It's stopped. I quad box, all right? I watch 4 major national networks every morning on my TV. Thank you. I've used the little YouTube TV quad box thing, and a week ago it was 70% of each show was LeBron James. Today, hell, I've seen more baseball than I have LeBron. I've seen as much golf as I have LeBron. I've seen more talk about the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl than I've seen about LeBron James. We're passing you by. We don't care like we did. Namely, when Rich Paul has said that, well, every team has made their pitch and every organization has done all they can do to get LeBron in the fold. Okay, well, if they've done everything they can do, then it's over, right? You make your decision, you move on, you're done, you go, you pick Golden State, Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia. Where will it be? But in a similar way to how Tom Brady is ruining the court of public opinion, he's ruining the rhetoric, the conversation around himself via these WWE stunts. In that same way, LeBron James, who told us it wasn't going to be drawn out, it wasn't going to be dramatic, he wasn't going to try to put the spotlight on himself, that guy, that LeBron James, is having a real tough go at it. With people saying, hey, for a guy who told me he wasn't going to make it about himself, wasn't going to make it overly public, for a guy who told me this was going to be different than The Decision Part 1, it's starting to look a lot like The Decision Part 1. Here is what Rich Paul had to say to Max Kellerman on the Game Over podcast on Monday evening.
And we're not going to be rushed. It doesn't matter. I don't want to sit here and sound like this. I'll just say we're not going to be rushed. It is his choice to make, and when he makes the choice, he's make it. Here's the other thing. There's been several people to call and say, "Hey, Rich, is there anything more we should be doing? We could be doing?" And my answer is no. We don't need you to go above and beyond about anything. We understand it. It's clear. All the messages have been sent.
The hashtag LeBan. That's where we are. That's where we are. What the hell are you talking about? Stop rushing him. Don't rush him. It's going to be on his time. It's his time. It's what he wants to do. We will not be rushed. What do you mean rushed? LeBron is known for months internally that he's going to leave Los Angeles. LeBron has gotten the pitches from each team. He knows what the roster makeup of Philadelphia is, of Golden State, of Miami. He knows this. He's aware. No one's rushed him. They just asked him to deliver on what he talked about, and that's not making too much out of this. And come on, it's nobody freak out. I'm just going to, play the final year of my career somewhere. It doesn't need to be all up in the news. I'm going to do it pretty quick, pretty quietly. And it's been anything but quiet, anything but quick. It's been another ploy, another look at me for LeBron James. For a guy whose camp seems to care a lot about the legacy word, for legacy to be a big piece of where he's going and what he's doing. Home, not money. Championships, not money. That guy's distracting. Almost away from himself. He's almost he's trying to become a distraction to the point people are giving up. They're forgetting. They're over it. They're done. Sorry. The hashtag LeBan. Josh, I have no fourth wall. I've broken that down too many times. Still have a fourth wall. Josh Graham, Westwood One Sports Night, listening live right now. Text. He says, want to join our LeBron ban on the night show? No LeBron discussion until he chooses a team. Hashtag LeBan. Love it. Love it, man. You can't stay away from it. You can't avoid it. But at this point, it's become so annoying, so incessant that I've got to give up. I've got LeBron fatigue. It's time for the hashtag LeBan. I just don't. A text from Lou Hawk in Dallas. Do you take your time when applying for new jobs? Yeah, I do. But you don't usually get well over a month. And he's not necessarily applying for new jobs. He's weighing his offers. There's no application for LeBron. He's got 4 offers on the table, 5 offers on the table, 30 offers on the table, and he's weighing those offers. And he knew a month ago he'd have those offers. He knew the locations he could go. He's played in them for 23 seasons. He's played plenty of games in Philly. He's gone on the road to Miami. He's played for Miami. He can take his time. But he already did. A week ago, he was taking his time. Now we've crossed over into annoying. And just do it. If you want to salvage, LeBron, if you want to salvage what's left of the mystique of where you'll play, of the court of public opinion being excited for your legacy to be capped off, that's got to happen soon. And it could be today. Drake Toll with you. The Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Let's take you out to the Southeastern Conference before we're joined by former Georgia quarterback Aaron Murray, where SEC Media Days is underway. And the SEC, the biggest, baddest, most powerful conference in college football. We want you to know just how good we are. We're the mighty SEC. Whether you like it or not, we know football. Well, I mean, actually, you haven't been to the national championship the last 3 seasons. You haven't even been, much less won one. And since the playoff expanded to 12 teams, you have only 3 wins that aren't against yourself. You beat Tulane with Ole Miss. And then Texas beat a hapless Clemson team that only made the playoff because they won the ACC. By rule, they had to make the playoff. And then Texas beat Arizona State. A couple of controversial calls late that hurt Cam Scatterbo and Sam Levitt in that game for the Sun Devils. The team you brought in for the Big 12 is the only SEC school during the 12-team playoff era to win a game against a team outside your conference. Okay, sure. Ole Miss beat Tulane. To win a game against a power team. I mean, the only marquee wins you've got, the only wins you've got against teams outside the SEC in the 12-team playoff era came from the Big 12 school, Texas, that walked in and seemed to dominate pretty quickly for a conference in the SEC that's so much better than everybody else. And now, the SEC, who will tell you they're the biggest, the largest, the baddest, the best, wants to leave the NCAA. Why? Because we're not happy. Because we're mad. Why are you mad? Well, because they're trying to protect college sports. What are you talking about? Let's take you to Tampa, where the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, says that talks about leaving the NCAA are real.
They're real. People have talked about that. They've opined about the frustrations that bring them to the point of saying we should look at something significantly different. I do not believe that is a leverage point. I think that's just honest communication. I would prefer that stay in a meeting room or on a video conference and not be part of the D1 ticker the next morning, but I don't control all of that. Eddie, what I think is important is those comments represent a high level of frustration with the circumstance in which we find ourselves.
You know why you find yourself in that circumstance, Greg Sankey? You did this. It's the Eric Andre meme. We're all looking for the guy who did this. That's Tim Robinson. It's a Tim Robinson. We're all looking for the guy who did this. He's wearing the hot dog costume. Somebody crashed the hot dog mobile into the storefront. And the guy in the hot dog costume said, we're all looking for the guy. Come on. We got to find him. You're the SEC. You told me you're big and mighty and bad and that you control things. So now that things aren't working anymore, we're going to leave the NCAA. Not to mention, he's just the perfect con here. I am not saying that as leverage. He wants to pull you off the scent of what he's doing. Great political tactic. I mean, he'd be an excellent politician. If you ask a governor, a senator, a president, every single time, left or right, hey, so, the economy's bad, Mr. Senator. That's because the last senator messed it up. Hey, Mr. President, gas prices are high. Well, of course they're high. You see what the last guy did? Hey, Mrs. Governor, what are we supposed to do about a housing crisis? Housing crisis? It's because those other people from the other party used to be in charge. But what about today? What about right now? You're the one in charge right now. You're the governor. You're the senator. Nope, it was them. It's Greg Sankey saying very clearly that as the SEC, we are leverage. We got this. We can do this. We are the SEC. And then telling you in the same vein, that's not me saying that we have leverage. What do you mean? He's just trying to put you off the scent. That's all Greg Sankey's trying to do, is to deliver a very staunch, dangerous message, and then say, but it's not leverage. It is. It's what you just did. Don't say that to make me think you're the good guy. You're not the good guy. And then continues in the rant, saying, but I wish that would stay in the boardrooms. I wish it would stay in our meeting rooms. You're the one who said it. You're the one who said it at the podium in front of all the microphones. What do you mean you wish you could stay in a boardroom? I wish it wasn't on the D1 ticker tomorrow, but I don't control that. You do. You're the one saying the thing. That if you didn't say the thing about the SEC leaving the NCAA, breaking away, doing its own thing, playing its own national championship, having its own playoff, just the SEC, or just the SEC in the Big Ten, that's your stuff, your vernacular, your ideas. I wish it could just stay in the boardroom. It can. But nope. You're the one who said it. But then you play victim by saying, I wish it could stay in a boardroom, but it's out of my control. It's in your control. You're just manipulating the situation. This is a con. The message is, the thesis is, the SEC is spewing dangerous rhetoric around college football. And the life of college football, having college football be healthy in 10 years, if you feel it's unhealthy today, starts with the SEC saying, you know what? We'll play ball. We'll do what's best for everybody. But they're not going to do that, will they? They're not going to do that. They don't care about Stanford. They don't care about Cal. They don't care about Washington or Oregon. They don't care about Boise State. They don't care about Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan. They care about themselves, period. And they want you to know they're the underdog. They are the ones. They're the ones who have been given an unfair shake by the system. Damn it, man, you are the system. You made the system. We're going to leave the NCAA. To do what? Go get sued? That's all the NCAA is good for anyway, is just getting sued and keeping you, the SEC, from getting sued. When we return, who better, man, than Aaron Murray, quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs turned SEC analyst, joins us from SEC Media Days. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Aaron Murray on the other side. This is the Drake Toll Show.
It's a big week for NFL fans. Training camps are kicking off. The Panthers and Cardinals get things started tomorrow. Then it's the Pats, Seahawks, and Bucks on Friday, followed by the Rams and Niners on Saturday. The pigskin is flying, and we're here for it. Westwood One Sports.
Nations, this is your final time check.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app. You can listen to the entirety of the show on the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, or live on SiriusXM 375. The SEC possibly leaving the NCAA. What the hell does that mean? Now joining us, Aaron Murray, still the SEC's all-time passing leader at ESPN analyst on the Drake Toll Show. Aaron, appreciate your time, appreciate your service as Georgia Bulldogs quarterback, and appreciate your take on this. The SEC leaving the NCAA, that's been thrown around, and Sankey said it's a real possibility. The commissioner of the SEC said it's possible. But what does that mean? Why leave the NCAA?
Well, because they can't do anything. I mean, it's a powerless entity at the moment. We've seen it time and time again, year after year. The NCAA, just the inability to enforce rules and just basic stuff. I mean, the Rodriguez thing that, or the stuff that just happened at Texas Tech with Sosby, it's just unbelievable that a kid could bet and gamble on his own team and clearly break major rules that is enforced at even the highest levels of sports, and they can't enforce it. And it's just a joke. I mean, essentially, if you get in trouble, if anything happens, you sue the NCAA and you're able to get out of it. And I think the SEC, the Big Ten, the two big powerhouses, in the room, especially SEC and Sankey, are just sick of it. They feel like they can, handle the rules, they can enforce the rules, they can make rules that make sense when it comes to NIL, when it comes to transfer portal, when it comes to gambling, just go down the line, and that they're able to enforce it in a way that everyone understands, hey, this is the same box that we're all playing in. And I think right now, it just feels like it's the Wild Wild West. And I know we're getting slowly better in some areas, and I know there's been some, enforcements with the NIL, but it's just not consistent. And it's hard to build a program. It's hard to build fairness across college football when, like I said, the NCAA is unable to enforce some of the basic rules that they want to put out there. So I get where Sankey's coming from. It's going to be very interesting, and we'll see what happens.
Aaron Murray, former Georgia Bulldogs quarterback, joins the Drake Toll Show, current ESPN analyst. Aaron, the idea of the SEC breaking away, let's say the Big Ten does it with them, and 36 teams are now in this super conference or their own separate sandbox of college athletics. In 5 years, does that kill what we love about college football or just reinforce the blue bloods of the sport?
Well, I know, I'm someone who's been watching college football since 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s may differ from my opinion. But as someone who played in the game, played the game, someone who's now covered the game very closely with CBS and ESPN for 10 years, who loves the sport, obviously is a fan of the sport. My biggest thing is I want to see good competitive football week in and week out.
Yeah.
What makes the NFL the greatest sport in America and maybe even the world? It's because every single week the worst team in the NFL has an opportunity to beat the best team. Not that they're going to, but they're not going to get blown out by 30 points. It's not going to be backups playing in the third and fourth quarter. It is a competitive game. Like I said, the best team, the worst team, maybe a touchdown or at worst maybe 10 points difference. So if we do get to a point where we have the AFC and the NFC in college football, but you're going to tell me that every single week when I turn on television and at noon and at 3:30 and at 7 o'clock, there are competitive games. And I think we've got to that point through the transfer portal in the past couple of years where we're getting more competitive games. We're getting more meaningful games in October and in November. I know some people thought that wasn't going to be possible or happen, because of the expansion, but it's definitely made the sport better. So, like I said, at the end of the day, as a viewer, as someone who's in the booth calling these games, I just want to call competitive games. I want a lot of action. I want two teams that every single week have an opportunity to win. And I think if we ever did get to that point, I think we would get more games. And yes, would we lose some traditions? Would we lose some rivalries? I mean, I was talking to some guys yesterday at the SEC Media Days. I mean, Georgia's not playing Tennessee this year for the first time in I don't even know how long. Florida's not playing Tennessee. Florida's not playing Tennessee. Florida's not playing LSU. So, like, I think all these are going to be shocks at first, like, oh my gosh. But like, kind of once you get over that and you're starting to see more good games, and the SEC's playing 9 conference games instead of 8, and you get more really, really good weekends, I think at the end of the day, that's what fans are going to want to see. And I think that's going to kind of help numb the pain of losing some of the tradition that we've seen in the past.
I'm really glad you went there because a lot of college football fans from the Big Ten love to complain in mid-November when Auburn plays Mercer. And SEC coaches would tell you this is almost a load management. 9 conference games. Eli Drinkwitz, the Missouri head coach, said it yesterday. 9 conference games, too many. It's going to be bogged down the SEC. We're too competitive for 9 conference games. But to your point, it brings more competition at the highest level for people to see the best version of college football. 9 games for the Southeastern Conference. Is that fair, or should the league have stayed at 8 from a competitive standpoint?
No, I give them 10 SEC games. I said, I want more. And you can't tell me that these players for the SEC, let's just be honest. We all have coach speak when we play, like, oh, we're not going to look past Mercer. We're not going to look past, so-and-so group of 5 game. But, man, let's be honest. That doesn't get you going. What gets you going is when I'm at Georgia and I get to play Alabama. What gets me going is when I get to play Florida and South Carolina and all these other SEC schools. You go to the SEC, you go to these schools not to play a Mercer. And I hate that I'm just bashing Mercer. My wife's like a law school, so she's probably just rolling her eyes at me. She went there. But just as an example, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, you want to play in these games. So like, to me, the players want to play in competitive games. The fans want competitive games. And it only prepares you for the next level. Guess what? There's no weekends off in the NFL. Like I alluded to, every game on Sunday is a competitive grind. So, give me more. Like I said, the COVID year was awesome. Give me every SEC, every game is an SEC game. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to be a part of.
He is the Georgia quarterback legend, Aaron Murray, joining the Drake Toll Show. Aaron, appreciate your time up early with us this morning. Last couple things I got for you. On that, the competitiveness of the SEC, 10 games, 11 games, 12, you're going to get, whether it's Arkansas versus Mississippi State or Florida versus Georgia, you're going to get something that a national viewer can lock into. As a guy who saw it, you played it between the lines in the Southeastern Conference. Even though the national championships haven't been there the last 3 years, what makes this the best league in college football, if it still is the best league in college football?
Well, I think the fans are part of it. I mean, you go into any SEC stadium every week. I think we average around 80,000 plus fans, a game last year throughout conference play, which is just absolutely incredible. So the energy in the stadium, the brands, the NFL caliber players. So yes, the SEC hasn't won a national championship in a few years, but we're still, SEC is still putting out more NFL talent than anyone else. So I just think that any given day when you go to an SEC game, and you see the talent, you see the coaching, you see the brand, there's just a little bit more excitement. There's more tradition. And I'm not one that's like super like, oh, SEC and screw the Big Ten. I love the Big Ten. I love what the Big Ten does. I love the brands of the Big Ten. And obviously I'm not as familiar with the Big Ten as I am the SEC and living in it and breathing it and playing in it. But, you can't tell me that, and no bash to any of these teams, but in Iowa, Northwestern compared to even a South Carolina Vandy game. The SEC, the middle of the SEC compared to the middle of the Big Ten, even bottom of the Big Ten, those games are just more exciting. Like I said, there's more NFL talent. There's better coaching. And I think that has played out for quite some time now. So, yes, the SEC does need to get back to winning championships, no doubt about it. But I think from top to bottom, with the football and the quality of football is still better in the Southeast.
Aaron, super quick. I know it's talking season, but once we hit the gridiron in a month, who's the team to beat in the SEC?
It's still got to be Georgia. And listen, I think Texas may be the most talented team from a roster standpoint from top to bottom. I love Steve Sarkisian. I actually think LSU's kind of right in there too. But, it's kind of like with Georgia and Alabama. Until Georgia was able to beat Alabama, the mindset was, hey, no matter even if Georgia's roster is better, you got to go with Alabama until Kirby Smart can prove that he could take down Nick Saban. And I think that's the same thing right now with Sarkisian in Texas and Kirby in Georgia. Until Sarkisian in Texas can beat Georgia, it's hard to say that they're the better team, even though they might have the better roster right now. So I think those two, are the favorites for most people right now. But like I said, I'm a big fan of Lane Kiffin. I've been a big fan of Lane Kiffin for quite some time. I think they have a very talented roster. Obviously, he's done a great job building teams through the portal, so you kind of trust his process. If Sam Levitt is able to get healthy and play to the level that I think he's capable under Lane Kiffin, that's going to be a really, really dangerous team down there in Baton Rouge. So a lot of good teams, man. You can give, Oklahoma, if Mateer plays at top level, with that defense and some new weapons they got, they're a contender. But really, I'd say right now my favorite is the Bulldogs.
He's the former Georgia starting quarterback at ESPN and CBS now, at Aaron Murray 11 on Twitter. Aaron, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great one.
Yep. Man, that's the SEC's all-time leading passer right there, saying the Big Ten has as fair a shake as anybody is the best conference in college football, but in the SEC, whether it's the tradition, the pomp, the circumstance, the depth of the conference, it's different. You could almost say that in the SEC it just means more. Aaron Murray, thanks for the time joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Him saying Georgia is the team to beat this year. I had a misconception for years about Kirby Smart. First time around, it was 2019, and I thought Kirby Smart is kind of an ass. No, Kirby Smart's a businessman. And we aren't talking enough about the Georgia Bulldogs. You know why we're not talking about the Georgia Bulldogs? Take notes, LeBron James. Take notes, Tom Brady. Take notes, Lane Kiffin. Because Georgia wins. And when they win, they don't tell you about it. Georgia just wins. LeBron James, spotlight's on me. Even when I told you the spotlight wouldn't be on me and I wouldn't do this, spotlight's on me, right? Everybody watching, cameras on, we good? I'm going to make a decision. Don't rush me. Tom Brady slaps Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whichever brother it is. Cameras on, everybody rolling. We're good? All right, ready, and action. Slaps him. Gives him a big middle finger at the World Cup final. Attention's on me. Everybody look at me. You got this? Lane Kiffin. Look at me. You guys got it? I'm Lane Kiffin. I'm good guy now. I changed. Here's a documentary about me changing. Oh, just kidding. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave the Ole Miss Rebels for the LSU Tigers because Ole Miss is racist. What? At Georgia, Kirby Smart, he does his business different. I called him for the first time 3 or 4 months ago. And just instantly picked up. Hey, it's Coach Smart. Just that Southern accent. And we were working on having him come to a Savannah Bananas game and honoring a former Georgia Bulldog football player who plays for the Party Animals now. Former first-round draft pick to the Texas Rangers, Jake Skoll, incredible story. Guy gets drafted 15th overall in the 2010 MLB draft. Plays 7 years of minor league ball, tumultuous with the Yankees, the Rangers, and finally decides, you know what? I need a retirement job. Late 20s, goes to play football at the University of Georgia. 2-time practice team player of the year. Helped Georgia get better, helped Georgia build championships. And Kirby picks up the phone and says, look, anything I can do to you, anything I can do to help Jake Skoll, and anything I can do with this, I'm in. He bent over backward to help a former player. I hear from a lot of people, misinformed people. Kirby Smart, man, he's the worst. Former players can't stand him. Nobody. People hate winning. And what does Kirby do? Why is the target still on his back? Because Kirby wins, doesn't have to tell you about it. Dabo's up there at the podium this week, the head coach at Clemson, saying, man, we've had a down year. But if a down year's 8 wins, I'll take that because we won every year before that. Didn't tell us about what he's doing. Told us about what he did, about the past, about all that. Oh, that's not the rhetoric I want. The team I'm chasing, the team I want to beat, the school that the SEC should look to replicate, the Georgia Bulldogs, Kirby Smart. The last SEC team to make a national championship. The last SEC team to win a national championship back in 2022, the Georgia Bulldogs. There's probably some bias from Aaron Murray, the former quarterback, but I still think he's spot on. Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. When we return. Man, isn't it something that the SEC wants to break away from the NCAA? But in the middle of that, the storylines kind of revolve around the new Kentucky coach. What? He said, if we're going to win, it's because of me. Riddle me that. It is Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
MLB is heating up. Time to find out who's for real and who will shape their lineup to be October contenders. Trade deadline is less than 2 weeks away. Westwood One Sports.
She's a rich girl, she don't try to hide it. Diamonds on the soles of her shoes. He's a poor boy, empty as a pocket, with nothing to lose. Sing ta-na-na, ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30
Ta-na-na,
seconds.
ta-na-na-na. She got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. 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 Diamonds on the soles of her shoes.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes.
People say she's crazy, she got diamonds on the soles of her shoes. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of your shoes. She was physically forgotten, but then she slipped into my pocket with my car keys. She said, you've taken me for granted because I pleased you. Wearing these diamonds. And I could say, ooh. As if everybody knows what I'm talking about. As if everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about diamonds on the soles of her shoes. She makes the sign of a teaspoon, he makes the sign of a wave. The poor boy changes clothes and he puts on aftershave to compensate for his ordinary shoes. And she said, honey, take me dancing, but they ended up by sleeping in a doorway by the bodegas and the lights on over Broadway, wearing diamonds on the soles of their shoes. And I could say, ooh. And everybody here would know what I was talking about. I mean, everybody here would know exactly what I was talking about. I'm talking about diamonds. say I'm crazy, I got diamonds on the soles of my shoes, yeah. Well, that's one way to lose these walking blues. Diamonds on the soles of my shoes. Ta-na-na-na, 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 ta-na-na-na.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Dua Lipa brings us back. What's she doing right now? What's she up to?
Enjoying her husband?
I live in Savannah, Georgia. Forsyth Park is kind of the legendary spot out here. I would like to challenge everyone in the country to a Dua Lipa lookalike competition, Savannah, Georgia, this Saturday, noon Eastern time. Forsyth Park. That's it.
No one go. No one go.
I'll be the judge. We'll figure out who can win the Dua Lipa lookalike competition. Forsyth Park, Savannah, Georgia, noon on Saturday.
Yeah.
See you there. Heck yeah. SEC Media Days rolls on today, and what I love about Media Days, especially the SEC, it is my first semblance of football. Like, I'm back. I can feel it again. Back, Jack. Dude, that's Donald Fagen and Steely Dan. Wow, to know the name Donald Fagen and struggle with Steely Dan, huh? What a world we live in. Do it again. SEC Media Days brings me right back to college football. And the quotes yesterday were as electric as advertised. See, the last time that Lane Kiffin, the coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, now the coach of the LSU Tigers, walked into Knoxville, Tennessee, he was berated. Things were thrown at him, like mustard bottles and golf balls. Now Kiffin, again the head coach of the LSU Tigers, will go back to Tennessee, where he coached for one season and then bolted, one season and then left. That same Lane Kiffin is headed back to Rocky Top. And Josh Heupel, the current head coach of Tennessee, said, fans have not lost their feeling toward Kiffin.
Certainly hope our fan base hasn't cooled off. So, whether it's the grocery stores being fully stocked with mustard, or our sports stores making sure that they got reinforcements on the golf balls. Hopefully, Knoxville's ready for his arrival.
Bring your mustard, bring your golf balls. Josh Heupel told you so. Then there was Will Stein, the new Kentucky football coach. Took over from Mark Stoops, brother of Bob Stoops. Mark was there for a decade plus, and he won games. Mark Stoops won games, Kentucky, but it fizzled out toward the end. So Will Stein takes the reins, and when asked why his team was going to win, he said, because of me. Take a listen.
You said you came here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me. I think I know what it takes. I've seen it at the highest levels. I know what it takes to recruit at this level. And you just got to believe, man. You just got to put the ball down and play. There's not really else to be said.
Once upon a time, a man named Curt Cignetti, this no-name coach from James Madison, came to a podium and said, "Google me."
Google me.
And after he said that, he won a national championship less than 2 years later. And now Will Stein said, you know what? Why is Kentucky going to win? Because of me.
Google
Somehow,
me.
He said it humbly, too. All right. I'm rooting for Will Stein after this one. No, I'm not rooting for the Dallas Cowboys. And I am a born-again Dallas Cowboys fan. Grew up in Arkansas. What's the closest team? Dallas Cowboys. Go to Baylor University. What team do we go watch on Sundays? The Dallas Cowboys. It's always on. Odigizua. College roommate. Just loved it. Odigizua. Anytime something good happened. Whether Osa Odigizua was involved or not. And now, at the top of the headlines, Ryan Clark, talking about the Dallas Cowboys yesterday, said that I think the Dallas Cowboys could win the Super Bowl, and they've got the potential, the keys, and now Ryan Clark was fired in the middle of NFL Live yesterday because ESPN's expecting a string of layoffs this morning, today. Surely more news will come out about who is laid off and how they will restructure. And in the middle of that, he was one of the casualties, fired mid-show. And many pointed to the funny timing of him saying the Dallas Cowboys could win the Super Bowl and then losing his job. I don't think that was related. Ryan Clark, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, NFL analyst at ESPN, former NFL analyst at ESPN. I don't think that was related to his firing, but weird timing. And now, once again, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, whether or not they can win the Super Bowl. Come on. We love the Cowboys. Come on. Of course they can win the Super Bowl, right? Every July, they get to Oxnard, California, and they're going to win it. This is the year. The boys are back. Even Dak Prescott said that is the standard.
Shoot, yeah, that's what's left for me. And it's always been my mindset. You know, it's the one thing I truly love about the Cowboys organization and the fan base is it's that or nothing. As I said, wherever that was, on the live stream, is that's what being a competitor is. If that's not how you're wired, if that's not how you think, whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, then I think you're in the wrong business. And honestly, I don't want you on my team. So I love those expectations, and they'll always be there.
It's Super Bowl or nothing, says Dak Prescott. Well, damn, it's been a whole lot of nothing then there, big guy. Not much to show for it. Super Bowl or nothing. You've chosen nothing for your entire career, as have the Dallas Cowboys for the last 3 decades plus. Thank you, Dak Prescott. Ward Manuel, the athletic director at Michigan, stepping down at the end of the calendar year. It is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Ward, why? Well, the school made an independent investigation clear to the public. Said, hey, we're digging into this guy. And at the end of the investigation, Ward Manuel says, I'm going to resign at the end of the year, cordially. No, man, you got fired. That's called getting fired. Everyone just wants to save face so that Michigan can say that they didn't fire, and they didn't fire the athletic director. He stepped down. He resigned. Come on, guys. Now Michigan will be without an AD, the same AD that oversaw the Connor Stallion scandal, that oversaw the Sharon Moore scandal with that lady, his mistress. And, of course, headlines dominated by LeBron James, his agent, his best friend, his comrade Rich Paul saying that he won't be rushed. Take a listen.
And we're not going to be rushed. We don't. It doesn't matter. I don't want to sit here and sound like this. I'll just say we're not going to be rushed. It is his choice to make, and when he makes the choice, he's make it. Here's the other thing. There's been several people to call and say, "Hey, Rich, is there anything more we should be doing? We could be doing?" And my answer is no. We don't need you to go above and beyond about anything. We understand it. It's clear. All the messages have been sent.
Huh. What do you mean you won't be rushed? It's been a month. No one's rushing you. They just want you to get on with the process. Get on with what you the normal time. What do you mean rushed? You knew you were leaving LA months ago. Now all of a sudden, no, we feel rushed. We're not going to be rushed. No one's rushing you. You've had plenty of time for due diligence, LeBron James. Today could be the day. LeBron watch. 30 days deep. It is Tuesday. Stu Kovacs produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board on the Drake Toll Show today, and it's time for Dead or Alive. Here's how the game works. Celebrity birthdays today. Are they dead or are they alive? Laura?
Yeah.
Stu goes first. Stu! Cat
All right.
Stevens, the singer. Dead or alive, Cat Stevens?
Gonna say dead.
Ooh, Laura?
Alive.
I would have said dead with every fiber of my being. And I would have been incorrect. Cat Stevens is listening today. He's alive.
Yay.
78 years old for Cat Stevens.
Happy birthday.
Laura, Henry McCullough, member of The Wings, a guitarist for The Wings. Band on the Run.
That sounds like a person who would be dead.
Ooh, sounds like a dead guy. Ooh. Stu.
I'm going to say alive.
Ooh, we did lose Henry McCullough. 72 years old, 2016, legendary guitarist, 10 years ago, departed this earth. See ya. All right, Stu. John Lovitz from Saturday Night Live, The Simpsons and News Radio. John Lovitz, dead or alive?
I think he's alive. I hope he's alive.
Laura.
Didn't he die?
He's turning a nice 69 years old today. John Lovitz is alive, did not die. Here's a tricky one. Going to you, Laura. Gary Trudeau. Gary is a political cartoonist who won a Pulitzer Prize.
Not Trudeau's brother, other Trudeau's
Nope,
brother.
has no relation to the other Trudeau.
Dead. Alive.
Oh, wow. Final
Alive.
answer is alive. Stu?
I'm going to say dead.
Another point on the board for Laura Jimenez. Congratulations, Gary. You are still alive by my count, by the information that I've received. Dead or alive, Stu, Don Knotts from the Andy Griffith Show.
Has to be dead, right?
Everyone in that show's dead, right?
Everyone in that show is, in fact, dead. He departed the earth in 2006, was born in 1924, could still be alive. 1924 is not the craziest thing. We got time for two more. Janet Reno, Laura, dead or alive, former U.S. Attorney General under Bill Clinton. That makes it tough. Ooh, dead, okay. Stu?
I'm going to say dead.
She was the one who helped lead the assault on the Waco compound. And she is dead. Yeah, she died. Janet Reno would have been 88 years old today. Lost her in 2016. And finally, K-Star, Stu, jazz singer with her hits including Side by Side and the Rock and Roll Waltz.
Gonna say alive.
Okay, Laura.
Dead.
Laura wins in a landslide. K-Star. So sorry. So sorry. Would have been 104 today for K-Star. Cool name. That's Stu Kovacs. He produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board tomorrow. Something tells me we'll talk about LeBron James.
James.
Woo! Come on now. There we go. Pete Souza will be joining us for the duration of the show tomorrow as well as through the rest of the week. That's ESPN's Pete Souza. Thanks to Aaron Murray for joining the program. You Better You Bet's coming up. To Colin Jones, Armin Williams, Bruce Gilbert, and Ryan McGuire, thank you for a job. We'll see you again from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow. It is still Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This has been The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.